Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
And new undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael the Count Bisping.
This is Believe You Me on the Gas Digital Network.
All right, Believe You Me. I don't know what number.
62, I do believe, Lewis, if I'm not mistaken, and it's very rarely that I am mistaken, so let's just go with 62. Welcome, everybody, if you are listening to the show. Number 62, Lewis doesn't keep track, I do. Where do we start, Lewis? Lots and lots and lots to talk about.
Well, can I get, let me just really quick get the plug out of the way, because I feel like we ruin the momentum of the show when we do it later on, so really quick.
Do it.
If you love the show, you're listening on iTunes right now, maybe you're watching live, you should know that we have 62 episodes of the podcast available on demand. We started doing video maybe 20 episodes ago. You can watch every episode we've ever done, because we only have the last 10 on iTunes, at gasdigitalnetwork.com. You get every episode we've ever done. You get pre-release. They come out a day before it goes to YouTube or iTunes. You guys get ad-free episodes. I know a lot of people hate when we have advertisements in the show as well. So use that promo code BYM. You get a 14-day free trial. It's just $7 a month. You get access to this show and then 16 other incredible shows on the network. All right, that's it.
Which is amazing. Okay, so plugs done. Where did we start? Lots going on. We've got GSP, maybe fighting Nate Diaz. Rockhold taking on Gustafsson. We've got things happening, lots of fights.
Yeah, ESPN deal this weekend. We got
bottom of my shoe. Little shits called Jorge Masvidal that still won't go away. We'll talk about that. Fights this weekend. Lewis, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's been kind of a crazy week. I feel like I haven't talked to you in a while. I don't know what it is. Like, we did do the show on time last week. I guess because we're technically doing this a day late. It feels like it's been a while, but a lot has happened. You were out in Vegas this past weekend. You went on Twitter. You went on a little bit of a tirade against some people. Jorge Masvidal, by the way, I got to say, I don't know what it is. I think he actually, you know, in like middle school when you like a girl and you keep on like pushing her and keep on like pulling her hair. I think Jorge Masvidal wants to be your boy, and he doesn't know how to come out and just say, "I want to be friends with you."
It's so ridiculous because if you remember, it wasn't that long ago. He posted out our private Instagram messages where he messaged me some abuse. I messaged him one back. He carried on, and I just said, "Look, listen, I'm done with this." And and then to make a big story out of it, he then posted them live and this and that. And now here he is again. I mean, I don't even think about this guy, but he's here. He's talking shit. Apparently, he was on Ariel's show, the MMA Hour, on Monday, saying some stuff. I believe you have the clip. I haven't heard this, so please go ahead, roll the clip.
This is him on Ariel Helwani's show, the MMA Hour.
And Bisping to actually, exchanging hands when you saw each other at the hotel that fight week at MSG?
That one, he had a lot of people with him, and actually, there's another reason why I don't respect him. I was literally pushing my son in the stroller when he came up and started doing all this stupid antics of his, So we were close in a way, but there were so many people that it probably wasn't going to happen. We were much closer probably in China. If it wasn't for Reed Harris literally putting himself in Bisping, I would have made sure to get a good one in and straighten out that crooked eye of his.
So, and did it ever get close? Like where you thought that someone was going to punch someone?
Well, I don't know I don't think he was going to do it to me because he knows what happened, but I was pretty close to breaking his face.
I think we've heard enough. I get the gist. He's a fucking idiot. So I mean, I don't even know where to begin. I mean, first of all, at Madison Square Garden when I fought GSP UFC 217 last year, we didn't nearly come to blows. He was talking shit. I was walking through the lobby and, I talked a bit of shit back. That was it. No intentions of getting into a fight with a little scumbag like that. I'm not going to lower myself. I mean, I've got a huge fight against George St. Pierre. Why am I going to start rolling around in a hotel lobby 2 days before that fight with somebody that honestly isn't on my radar? I don't know who he is. I don't know anything about him. But still, he talks a lot of shit, and it was negative press, which I didn't appreciate. And then he's talking about an incident which occurred in Shanghai. Incidentally, he's changed his story once again of what happened in Shanghai, because last time it was different. He said recently in the press that I was with my wife and kids and I was trying to start a fight. So now he says that he had his kid in the stroller, which is totally different from what he said before. Here's what happened in Shanghai. he's always there. He's always talking shit. He's a little asshole, whatever. As I'm walking through the lobby, I see him, and I just give him the middle finger. I walk past, I go, fuck you, just as I'm walking by. You know, I just lost a fight. I was in the best mood. And that's all it was. I wasn't trying to get at anybody. I don't go around trying to attack people in hotel lobbies.
It's not really unfounded either, because at that point you had been beefing with him for a while publicly. There'd been a lot of shit talking.
Exactly. I just walked by and I went, fuck you. As I went past him, that was it. And then he tried to get at me and, you know, caused a big scene again. You know when someone tries to get at somebody and people have to hold them back, and it's just ridiculous. So here he is again talking about it. And this is what I tweeted the other day. I said, for what was a very insignificant occurrence to me, seems to be the biggest thing that ever happened to him, because he can't get over it, which is ridiculous. You know where Jorge Masvidal resonates with me? About the same level. The other day I was biting my fingernails. You ever bite your fingernail, and when you rip it off, you take a bit of skin with you?
Yeah.
You know, and it hurt. It's annoying. It stings, but it's not really there. It's only now and again. He's about that level. That's about how much you resonate on my radar, Jorge Masvidal. The torn bit of skin on my fingernail, it's an annoyance. It's always
sucks.
there, but in a couple of days it'll be gone. And that's what you're like. You are an annoyance. You're always there, and in a couple of days you'll be gone.
It sucks, but it's not going to change the course of your day. You're not going to be like, well, you know what? I tore the skin on my fingernail, so I'm not going to go rock climbing now, because no, you're still going to.
No, you'd still go rock climbing
exactly.
with the torn with a little bit of skin. You're still going to do whatever you want to do, and it might just bother you a little bit. In fact, I think I'm giving him too much credit, because I'll be honest, this fucking finger's been pissing me right off. Whereas Jorge Masvidal, I find it kind of pathetic. I really do. It's like, get a life, get a grip. I honestly don't even want to give him this much time.
Yeah.
But he's going
I feel like you haven't given anywhere near this much time to the skin on your fingernail.
No, of course. But, you know, Ariel has a big show. A lot of people watch the MMA Hour. So I kind of feel that I have to put my side out there. Anyway, Jorge, forget I exist. Keep my name out of your mouth. I'll do the same. I'm not lowering myself to your level. And that's about that.
Because you made this point, which is kind of interesting, which, you know, it's not just about Jorge Masvidal. It's about just anybody. You know, if you want to fight somebody, like dudes, like if a dude really wants to fight another dude, there's nobody that's going to hold you back. You know,
no.
I don't know how big Reed Harris is, but I did look him up, and I see that I think he has a jiu-jitsu black belt. So, yeah, I mean, he's probably a pretty fucking tough dude.
No. Reed Harris is a good guy. He actually founded the WEC, and the UFC bought them off him, and bought the WEC from Reed Harris. Now he works for the UFC. Does jiu-jitsu, this and that. He's very capable of holding someone back. If you want to attack somebody, you just... If you want to attack them, then I guess you fucking attack them. You don't walk at them going swearing and calling names. You know what I mean? He's just trying to act up. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. I'm not interested in any kind of beef. I sound like a goddamn rapper, but I'm just not interested in that. Jorge, go do your thing. I don't know who you are. I wish you the best. Just stay out of my life. Leave me alone. I'll leave you alone. I'm not
what's
interested.
the end game? I don't really understand, because you guys aren't going to fight each other. So at what point you go like, okay, you guys don't like each other, but there's people I don't like, but I don't go around threatening them constantly and just keep on talking about how much I hate them. At one point you got to move on. There's no path to you guys fighting except in a parking lot somewhere, which I don't believe you're both fathers.
It's ridiculous.
You know?
No, listen, I'm 39 years old with 3 kids. You think I'm interested in trying to fight with somebody that, honestly, I don't even know? Do I care for him? No, I don't. Do I respect him? Obviously not. He handles himself like a piece of shit. But, you know, I'm not interested in trying to fight Jorge Masvidal, whether it be in the UFC, in a parking lot, whatever it is. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, dude. Just move on with your life. Focus on your UFC career, your dwindling UFC career. I do believe he's lost fights at lightweight, for crying out loud. Now, okay, you know, I used to fight at light heavyweight. I'm a middleweight. I certainly don't go looking for fights with lightweights. So get a grip, Jorge Masvidal. And another blast from the past was at the weekend. Luke Rockhold. He was at his old antics again, saying sign the contract. Just say no to the drugs, he said, which is ridiculous. But say yes to the contract. Once again, Luke, there is no contract. There is no offer. I love how you put it out there, like the UFC are handing me offers, contracts, and I'm just choosing not to sign them. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that. You know, you say no to drugs. How funny it would be if you were smoking a joint made out of the contract, you didn't even realize it. You're like, hey, what contract, man?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Luke, I think he's fighting Alexander Gustafsson. That's what I'm hearing. So if I was him, I'd just focus on Alexander Gustafsson because obviously I knocked him out. Then he beat David Branch. Then he got knocked out again off Yoel Romero. And I'm telling you, the writing on the wall is for another knockout here. I believe Luke will get knocked out cold against Alexander Gustafsson. Gustafsson in his last fight against, who was it, Teixeira? I think it was Teixeira. He looked incredible. His hands looked like lightning, and he's a bigger guy. Now, for Rockhold going up to 205, much like me, it might help Luke Rockhold. If I was to fight again, I've said it'll be at light heavyweight. I feel like it killed me getting down to 185 all these years. I'm at 225 right now. Getting down to 185 is a serious pain in the ass, and I have to run so much and diet so much that I lose a lot of muscle mass. And then with that, you lose strength, and and you kind of get weak. Maybe your chin suffers a little bit. Who knows? But
Luke Rockhold
he's got to be careful, man.
Did he ever fight at light heavyweight? Why do I feel like he did?
I don't know. He probably did. He's a big guy. He's a big 185. I often thought, how the hell does he make 185? Because he, he's what, 6'3", 6'4", something like that. And he's a big guy. Yeah, he's very, very lean, but still, he's pretty.
I know why.
Pretty,
he does it easily because he can conceive.
That's it. He looks at things, and if you believe it, and you see it, and you can feel it, and you believe, and you achieve.
You can achieve anything if you just believe and conceive.
Shut the fuck up! Conceive, believe, achieve.
That is a great little highlight reel right there. It's fucking awesome.
I know. God bless him, Luke. Nice, but dim Tim. Can
I be honest with you? Because somebody asked this last weekend. It was a great question.
I want you to lie to me.
You're very handsome. No. Can I? Somebody asked this last week, and I didn't get to the question. It was in the emails, and I saw it later on, and I don't want to go to it. I can't find it right now, but they asked me who I would want to see you fight for your last fight. And I thought that's kind of an interesting fight. And that is, if I had to pick one fight, everything, let's say you don't retire, you come back one fucking fight, Luke Rockhold would be the fight that I would want to see, without a doubt.
Yeah, for sure, and that is a fight that does make sense.
Or Nick Diaz. I don't know. I got to be honest with you. Nick Diaz.
I'm retired. Everybody's calling me up. We've got Jorge Masvidal, which is a joke. Now we've got Luke Rockhold. Obviously, he's always there. I don't blame him. I'd want revenge. Now, Gokhan Saki, he's at it as well. The Turkish Tyson, he's been calling me out. It's weird. I was on the plane from Vegas this morning, and I was sitting there. I was looking at my Instagram. And, you get a message when somebody tags you in a story or whatnot. Mm-hmm. And he's done this, Gokhan Saki I'm talking about, he's done this series of stories on Instagram saying, I asked my viewers who I should fight next, and they all say Bisping. And who would win in a fight? 6% only say Bisping, and blah, 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 blah. And I was about, in fact, I wrote out quite a scathing response to him, and I tried to send it, but by this point I was in the air, so I'd lost cell phone signal, which is probably good. Otherwise, I'm starting another beef with somebody that I have no intention of fighting. Let's be honest. I'm retired. I haven't made it official yet, but I'm probably retired. Now, of course, when I say probably, that still gives me a window to come back, but I'm probably retired. So Gokhan, by the way, Gokhan Saki not long ago was sending me messages wanting to meet up. I'm in LA, brother, calling me brother. I've never fucking met the guy. I'm in LA, brother. Let's get together. And now all of a sudden he's calling me out for a fight.
Maybe he wanted to fight you. Maybe he was going to show up and he was going to fucking try to punch you in the face.
Oh, we're professionals, so I guess that's what we do. So fair play. I wish him all the best. Yeah. He seems like a good dude, and he's a great fighter as well. So
Well, it makes sense because you're a former champion. I think at that point, these guys all want. Everyone's in the title hunt. If you beat somebody who was the last champion, it makes sense. Just logically, you go, okay, Well, that person's right there in line. So it's just now everyone and their mother is calling you out because it absolutely makes sense. I would call if I was a middleweight fighter right at the top of the chain and I wasn't ready for a title shot, you'd be the guy that I would call out because you're the last guy to hold the title.
Yeah, for sure. No, it totally makes sense. I think I wrote something back along the lines of you talk a good game for somebody. I can't remember. Did you see his fight, his UFC debut? He just he knocked the guy out in the third round, but it looked like he was losing the fight against somebody I've never heard of. And he didn't look all that. That's all I'm saying. His boxing was good, his kickboxing was good, but his MMA game needs a lot of work.
Yeah, so Enrique da Silva, he had a fight against. I have a question because what is When you say retired, is there a literal definition of that? Because what I'm saying is this.
It means I'm not going to fight anymore, Lewis. I don't know if you know this.
I fucking know what retired means.
It's a literal definition to the word retirement. Yes, it means I'm done fighting. So, I don't know if you're understanding the words that are coming out of my mouth, Lewis. I don't know if I'm speaking English. Say what one more time, motherfucker.
Can you do it? Can you do a Geordie accent?
Hoey, man. Hoey, pet. All right. So here's the thing, right, Lewis? I'm probably going to be retired, man. But you never know. You never know, right? I may come out for one big more fight, right, down the lane. But
can you do it as George St. Pierre now?
I'm retired, man.
Yeah, you got to do it as George St. Pierre retiring as Michael Bisping.
Because for me, I am retired, and Michael, maximum respect to you, but you're a little intoxicated from Vegas. I can tell a little bit. Your mind isn't working right. I can tell. You're very angry, Lewis, but now I am retired.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there, like, when you say I'm retired to the UFC, is there a process in which you say, hey, now I'm officially retired, I'm off the website, whatever it is? Because what I'm getting at is, why don't you just officially retire and then come out of retirement if there's a fight that makes sense for you to come out of retirement one day for?
So here's the thing. Multiple levels to that, and I just I keep doing this as well. I keep putting my hands up like this, and it looks weird. I got to stop doing that. Multiple layers to that question. So first of all, if I say I'm retired to the UFC, okay, USADA, I come out of the USADA testing pool, okay? And then if I want to fight again, then I have to go 6 months of testing, I believe. It's either 6 months or 4 months. I saw 4 months somewhere, but I heard it was 6 months. So if I retire and then come out of retirement, I've got to do 6 months of being tested prior to being able to fight
It's 6
again.
months if you had been suspended. It's 4 months if you're just coming out of retirement.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you. So obviously there's that. You know, there's that little hurdle there. I guess in the meantime, all I'm doing is wasting USADA's money if they're showing up trying to test me when I've got no intention of fighting. Or maybe this is just the perfect plan to just get them to not test me whilst I do loads of steroids. That isn't the thing at all. So if I say I'm retired, then I've got to go, you know, I've got to do all that shit. Also, another thing, you know, if I'm going to retire, I want to try and make a bit of a bang about it. Now, I've just signed the deal to do a documentary with a Canadian production company called Imagination Park. And if I'm going to retire, then I'll go be guest fighter or something like that and do it with a bang. You know, and do it like that as opposed to, you know, just like tweeting to Luke Rockhold at 4 a.m, pissed out of my head.
Yeah, I guess.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, it makes sense. I was wondering, the USADA thing more than anything makes sense. But if USADA wasn't involved, technically it's not that big a deal. You fucking call them up and say, I want to fight again.
Yeah, no, for sure, exactly. I could say, okay, 2 months from now, I want to fight. But with USADA involved, then you've got to do 4 months in the testing pool. So it does, you know, complicate things a little bit. But as I say, listen, I'm retired. Unless such a good offer comes through, I'm retired. I am. I just haven't made it official. I've got a lot going on outside of the octagon this weekend. I was at a healthcare expo with that company that you despise, Timmy Coin.
I do not despise Timmy Coin.
No, I know. You just don't understand the beauty of the revolution of this technology that we're involved with.
I'm just saying that we did a fucking 48-minute presentation on Timmy Coin on the show one time, and it was a goddamn nightmare.
No, I know. And then he even said, he was very tired. It wasn't his most entertaining. But anyway, so I was down there doing that. I've got the UFC gym stuff going on. I've got acting going on. We've got this amazing podcast that we do we are continuing to take to the next level, Lewis. Lots of stuff going on, my friend. Lots of stuff going on. So, I've been there, done it, got the T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to spend the whole time talking about me, so we'll move on in just a second. You know, you go out there, you become a fighter, you earn a few dollars, you put some money in the bank for your children, you win the world belt, you have more fights than anyone. I mean, why? What else is there left to do other than just taking punishment? I mean, look at my eye. We'll get onto this, actually. I mean, I've got a bad eye. You know what I mean? And my good eye is having issues now as well. So it just isn't worth it. And just going back to Jorge Masvidal, he said, I'll knock his crooked eye straight. And Luke Rockhold said that as well. That was one of the reasons after I won the belts, I jumped onto the cage and I looked down at him and I said, fuck you. You know, which probably didn't seem like the most sportsmanlike thing to do. But for anybody that's in this game, anybody that fights professionally, in whatever capacity it is. To mock another fighter that has an eye injury like this, you know, you're playing with karma, boys, because I didn't always look like this. My eye wasn't always messed up like this. It happened through fighting. It happened through having a long career inside the UFC. And you think they'd have a little bit of respect. I would have thought that was off limit, so to speak, mocking a fighter's injury like that, you know. But obviously he has no class. So, you know, good luck with that. And, let's move on. So, all right, let's just take a quick second to hear from one of our sponsors, Infinite CBD.
Love 'em.
Infinite CBD offer the cleanest, healthiest, and purest form of CBD that is available. So, I hear you ask, what is CBD? Well, it's found in marijuana, but it doesn't get you high at all. It's 100% legal. It won't show up in a drug test, and it helps your body. It helps raise your body's endocannabinoid system balance. It helps keep it balanced. Pardon me. What does that mean? What does that mean, endocannabinoid system balance? Because I don't know, but I can tell you this right now. Research has shown that CBD helps people who have arthritis, chronic pain, inflammation, Lyme disease, addiction, insomnia, diabetes, high blood pressure, PTSD, and many, many others. So if you've got any of those things, then I suggest you give it a try. Me personally, I like a product they have called Freezing Point. Rub it on there. Helps with the inflammation. I can go run. I can have my life back. I really do truly enjoy that product.
Yeah. Dude, they have everything, by the way. They have capsules, they have vape juice, gummies, isolate droppers. You know, the thing is, this is sort of a hot button topic right now, CBD, and it's not this. I feel like we're moving past the time where you go like, oh, weed, dude, marijuana. This is a real deal thing that is actually helping people. For me personally, I got a ton of anxiety. That's a major thing. And I have a 5-year-old son, so I can't show up to his school baked out of my mind. I love smoking weed, but I can't smoke weed all day long. So what I do is I end up taking CBD. I do the capsules usually in the morning. It kind of gets me through my day. It kind of gets rid of the anxiety. I just feel a little bit more balanced, a little bit better about myself. It really is great for me. Try it out. The best part of all of it is we give you a pretty dope discount. If you go to their website, which is infinitecbd.com, you can pick up whatever you want. Literally anything you want. The best product for you. Try out a bunch of different things. If you use the promo code BELIEVE, you get 15% off.
Perfect. There you go. InfiniteCBD.com. Promo code BELIEVE. 15% off. Hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Okay.
Right. Let's get back into it.
What do you want to talk about, Lewis?
I want to talk about, this is sort of big news because obviously we do have UFC 224. Is that this weekend? It is, right? Yeah. But I want to talk about, before we get into that, Dana White went on to, I believe it was Norton and Sarah's podcast, and he dropped a couple bombshells about bookings. Number one being, which you had just said, Luke Rockhold versus Alexander Gustafsson. But the other one, which I thought was super interesting, was that he's trying to make George St. Pierre versus Nate Diaz for this August at, I believe, 155 pounds, which is super interesting. I want your opinion. You could open this all up, but the whole thing is sort of interesting. That kind of came out of left field. I didn't expect them to set up Nate versus George. I almost feel like, you know, the UFC, what they've been doing lately is going for the absolute biggest fight possible. And if you're doing George at 155, why wouldn't you do Conor versus George? But there's something, I don't know, there's something going on there. So I loved your opinion on this whole thing. I think it's a really, really fun fight. I think George St. Pierre fucking murders him. But Michael Bisping, tell me what you think.
Yeah, sure. Much like you, I was just on Twitter earlier. As I said, got back from Vegas on the couch having a coffee, scrolling Twitter. I think it was Helwani once again talking about it. And I was like, wow, okay, interesting. Remember, GSP retired unless there was going to be a big, big fight. To your point, you just said, if he's going to do a big fight, it would have to be GSP versus Conor McGregor. That's what you just said. But obviously, Conor right now has got a lot of issues on his table, on his plate, shall we say. So that's going to keep him out a little bit. Also, when Conor comes back, I don't see how they can do any other fight than Khabib versus Conor. You know, that's an even bigger fight than GSP versus Conor right now, in my opinion. So that's the fight they got to do. So therefore, you got to wait for Conor. Then you got to wait for Conor to clear his troubles. Then you got to wait for Conor to fight Khabib. So it's a long time before he can fight GSP. Do you really
think that Conor versus Khabib is a bigger fight than GSP versus Conor? No way.
Not in terms of a spectacle, not in terms of, a true martial artist dream fight, but I honestly believe Khabib has a huge following, massive following. He's got high Instagram numbers. He's a bloody legend in Russia now and Dagestan, all over that part of the world. He's got a massive, massive following. And then given what happened recently, that last event in New York, in Brooklyn, I don't see how it can't be. Imagine the press leading up to this, and of course they got all that footage of Conor and this and that. I mean, it won't be a good time for Conor because he's going to live in that moment and replay that moment all the time every time the press re-shows it.
I don't think
but still,
cares.
It's going to make that fucking fight huge.
Of course, that'll be a huge fight. Here's the reality. No matter where the pieces fall, with Conor, Nate, George St. Pierre, Khabib, you have huge, massive, gargantuan fights.
Yeah.
And I think the UFC wins. No matter what, the UFC wins. So
Yeah,
I think,
absolutely. Any one of them, Nate, Conor, GSP, whichever way you match up those three, you're going to get a massive pay-per-view. So they can do whatever they want. Conor's out in the meantime. So yeah, do GSP versus Nate Diaz. That's good for GSP. I mean, it's good for Nate Diaz because Nate Diaz said, I only want to come back for a big fight, a big fight. Well, there you go. He's got his big fight.
That's a tough fight.
Do huge pay-per-view, I don't know if he'll do more than mine. We'll see. But I'm joking, by the way. But so Nate Diaz is happy. He gets the payday, the kind of payday that he wants. Okay. GSP is happy because he gets to go down to 155, which, by the way, might be the only challenging thing for GSP, going all the way up to 200 pounds, then having to come back down and make 155. That might have an effect on his performance. We'll see. But generally, Nate Diaz hasn't done well against wrestlers. He's not fast. He's not explosive like GSP is. So, I mean, that's a big payday that everyone's going to watch and a relatively easy night at the office, in my opinion, for George St. Pierre.
Agreed.
So, again, that's a win-win for George St. Pierre. So, if you're George St. Pierre and they offer you that, you say, yeah, of course, I would take the fight. No
my
problem.
God. Rory McDonald, he sort of set the blueprint for the way you could beat Nate Diaz, that style. And I think George St. Pierre is going to be a massive, massive, massive problem for Nate. And I'm a huge fan of the Diaz brothers. Love them. Would never, ever root against them. But the reality is, I think George St. Pierre, especially because he said for the longest, if he ever dropped to 155 pounds, that he would do it in a very smart way. He would get together with his team. George is he's a different type of athlete where I don't think that George would drop to 155 pounds if, number one, he didn't think he can make it and still be super competitive. And number two, if there wasn't a bigger plan there. And I don't think the massive plan there is Nate Diaz. I think you're right, Conor wasn't ready. And because Conor wasn't ready, he said, you know what, I'm going to do a test cut to get down to 155, massive fight against Nate. And then you set up a huge fight against Conor McGregor. Whether Conor wins or loses to Khabib, it doesn't matter. You can set up that huge fight, GSP versus Conor McGregor, New Year's Eve, November, Madison Square Garden, whatever it is, and get maybe the biggest pay-per-view of all time.
I like that, actually, Lewis. That's actually smart thinking because, as you say, he probably wants to make 155 first before fighting somebody like Conor. Even though Nate beat Conor once and the second fight was super close, you still got to think that Conor's the tougher matchup. Stylistically, yeah, I just think GSP, and as you said, massive respect for Nick and Nate Diaz. I'm big fans of them. I like the way they carry themselves. I like watching them fight. They always bring it each and every time. But I'm just talking stylistically, skill-wise, skill sets. Yeah, GSP beats him all day. He's more explosive. He's stronger. He's got fantastic wrestling. Jiu-jitsu-wise, he can match Diaz. And he's better on the feet. He's a better athlete. The only thing that Diaz has is he's got more of that real fighting grit. But GSP's always done well against that anyway.
Also, lots of submissions off his back, too. I don't know that Conor's the better or the more difficult matchup for GSP. I think Conor's definitely more athletic and a more explosive striker. But I think Nate is a really, really great striker, really great boxer. Nick, the only reason I say that Conor is a tougher fight is because Conor has that one punch power. We've seen that. Nate Diaz doesn't have that. Both of them get out wrestled by George St. Pierre. That's a fact. And every fight starts on the feet. And there's 5 rounds in a title fight. Or would this be a title fight? It'd be a main event anyway. So there's 5 rounds. So that means every round, Conor's got a chance of knocking him out before he gets taken down. Nate Diaz doesn't have the one-punch power. Nate Diaz has good power, and he has excellent combinations that he wears people down with, much like Joe Calzaghe back in the day, just wears people down. Conor McGregor, though, we've seen it time and time again. Look at Eddie Alvarez. Look at, Jose Aldo. The list goes on. He can put
people away with one shot. And I'm not saying he'd do that to George St. Pierre, but he's done it before. So therefore, that's why I say Conor McGregor will be the harder fight.
Yeah, but it's also, you got to consider the fact once GSP gets to the ground, and he's going to, now you have Nate Diaz, who's super tough off his back, has really, really high-level jiu-jitsu. Granted, George St. Pierre, look, dude, when have you seen somebody just punch George St. Pierre and put him out? Matt Serra technically hit him, and he tapped his strikes, but he was just shocked. George St. Pierre was more shocked than anybody else watching it. He was like, wait, what? Matt Serra just punched me in the fucking face, and he started tapping like a lunatic.
As the complete narcissist that I am, I feel that I once again have to explain that I had torn cartilage in my ribs when we had that fight, and it was a shitty performance from me, because this is breaking my fucking heart. We're like, oh yeah, George St. Pierre this, and he might beat him, and this guy might beat him. I'm like, motherfucker chokes me out. But let me tell you, I had torn cartilage, and I know I've said it, but I'm just throwing it out there for anyone that didn't know that. That's why I lost to George St. Pierre, and he got very fucking lucky that night. But God bless him. God bless him.
God bless him. You posted that thing to Instagram, which was so fucking funny, dude. Because I don't really know too many British people, but pull up Mike's Instagram if you can. It was just sort of like a translation, speaking to a British person, what it really means.
Oh, yeah. Did I delete that? I think I did.
Did you delete it? You're such a pussy. You post such funny stuff, and then you delete it because you're afraid someone's going to get offended.
No one was going to get offended. That's not why I deleted it. I deleted it because, like, if you go to my page, and you look at it aesthetically, it's not pleasing. It's had its moment in the sun. It had the likes. It had the comments. It had the engagement level. It made everybody laugh. But it doesn't have to have a permanent presence on my page. Does that make sense?
Aesthetically, it doesn't look as good when you look at your feet. You're a fucking chick. You really are. I look at every hair that's perfect on your head. Like every hair. Yeah. It took you 45 minutes to do your hair for this podcast. Let
me tell you this right now, and this is God's honest truth. This takes me about 30 seconds. In fact, less than that. I use Rebels Refinery hair gel.
Whoa. They don't pay us.
Instagram, Rebels Refinery. It's good shit. Men's fine grooming products. This is not an ad, so go fuck yourself. I do a little bit in the hands, and then, ooh, baby. There we go. Yeah. You've got it, Lewis.
It's true.
When you've got it, you've got it.
I'm very jealous.
Definitely don't have it. Hair I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm reminded of that every day.
Shit. But what was that thing? What was that picture? Where was it?
Oh, is it up there, Shannon, or no? Yeah, you deleted it.
No, it was funny though.
It was very good though. Yeah, anytime Michael says "God bless you," he's saying "Go fuck yourself."
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, hold on. Where is it? Let me find it. Anyway, whatever.
In the meantime, I'll say go to our Instagram, or not Instagram, I'm sorry, go to our iTunes, leave us a 5-star ranking and a positive review. Let everyone know that you love the BYM podcast. I'm telling you right now, we're taking over the MMA podcast world. Look, there's other podcasts out there. You got Jim Norton and fucking Maddie Sarah. I love those guys. They're great. Are they believing in me? Probably not. Fighter and the Kid. Great, brilliant guys.
Do you listen to it much?
I don't listen to other people's shit. I'm listening to another dude talking to a microphone. This is what I do for a living.
Yeah. I find myself, and I know this is like, I'm very, very late to the party here when I say this. Fucking YouTube is great, man. I've just stumbled across the YouTube app, and I'm like, fuck the TV. I'm all about the YouTube. I'm sitting there, my wife's, what you doing? I'm like, scrolling YouTube. And that's where I look at little bits of podcasts. I look at little bits of Joe Rogan. I listen to Joe Rogan, obviously. His podcast is amazing. I listen to little snippets, the highlights, if you will. Yeah.
I heard about this new website called MySpace. I don't know if you've been to it. It's pretty cool.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
MySpace.
Actually, Harrington just sent me a little thing. He said... Nate versus GSP is targeted as the co-main event underneath Luke Rockhold. No, not underneath Luke Rockhold. Cody versus TJ. Oh, let's talk about Cody. All right, let's take a minute to talk about Cody. That reminds me.
You want to talk about Cody? Why? What have you got to say about Cody?
Okay, so I guess Rogan on his podcast is. Let me pull this up because I don't want to get this.
Cody or Colby? Colby Covington or Cody No Love?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think you and your friend Harrington, that is probably 3 feet away from you, you can make eye contact, but yet me, who's on the other side of America, through headphones and the digital talents of a computer, who is not even on the screen, I can see clearly that he said Cody, not Colby.
Yeah.
But yet you're sat right next to him in New York and you still think he said Colby.
Yeah, I definitely fucked that one up.
Yeah.
Definitely. Hey, you know, here's the thing, though. The difference between me and other people in the world is I'm willing to admit my mistakes and learn from them and then move on and become a better broadcaster because of it.
I am the same way.
Yeah. This is why we have the best MMA podcast in the world, because we grow every week. We don't try to be perfect. We don't edit things out. We just say, fuck it, dude. Let's come together, have a conversation. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, we never, ever edit anything out.
Not entire episodes.
Yeah, you know, we have entire episodes, little bits here. Like, oh, shit, Lewis. Just so people know, sometimes after a show, I say, oh, dude, we got to take that bit out, man. We got to take that bit out. We cannot have that who. In there. So,
do you remember? Yeah, I'm not going to say who, but at one point you were like, you called somebody racist, like a person that you know, and you're like, oh,
no. That was the radio show. Don't say the name.
I'm not saying the name. Oh, yes, it was the radio show.
Just don't say the fucking name.
I'm not. It's not out there. You made them edit it out. And then
I did.
Yeah. So anyway,
you were gonna talk about Colby Covington versus Rafael dos Anjos, I think, but it was something to do with Joe Rogan. Go ahead, please explain.
I guess Rogan, because Colby's fucking nuts, and he's out there popping shit everywhere, and he's doing at the very least, he's doing an excellent job at getting people to talk about him. You know, he is an example of a guy who's, I'm not going to say talking himself into a title shot, but, you know, the reality is if he wasn't that dude, if he wasn't making those Instagram videos and being that dick and getting the Brazilians all fired up and making these moments happen, he wouldn't have a title shot. I really don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think if he was just a nice guy and that was his whole approach, I don't think that he'd be anywhere near as far as he is in the sport. It's in combination with him being a badass fighter, obviously, but I guess Rogan said on his podcast something along the lines of, here, I'm pulling it up. Here we go. Harrington. Sorry, I should have had it set up, guys.
No. I did see this. So he's talking about Jon Jones. Was he talking about Jon Jones? And he said,
was talking
what
about
did he
Jon
say
Jones.
about Jon Jones? He said something about Jon Jones, and Joe Rogan said he better be careful, otherwise Jon Jones is going to slap Colby when he catches up with him, because Jon Jones is a bad motherfucker, one of the baddest men on planet Earth, and you got to be careful what you say about somebody like that. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly. Here, I'm pulling up the actual quote right now. BYM notes. Why do I only have the fucking update? I'm sorry, guys.
Jeez.
Oh, that's.
I mean, I'm looking at it right now. I just Googled it faster than you guys have known.
You know what? You want to know why? Can I tell you why? Because
you're having problems with your Wi-Fi.
No, I'm getting drunk on whiskey.
Oh, shit. Why? How much whiskey have you drank?
Just a nice big cupful. Can I get some more ice, Harrington? I'm not drinking coffee. If we do podcasts tonight, I'm drinking whiskey.
Listen, let me tell you this, okay? Whilst I have now said, and I mean this, and I know I say this a lot, I'm done drinking, man.
Oh, boy.
I'm done drinking. I've lived a hardcore life for 39 years. I started drinking when I was like 15, 16, and whew, you know, I've put some miles on this clock with that. And it suddenly occurred to me, I've got to take better care of myself. I'm getting older. I've got 3 children. You know, my dad came to see me recently when we did the podcast. And, Dad, if you're listening, don't take this the wrong way, but he didn't look a fucking vision of health, that's for sure. And I was like, wow, you know, no disrespect, Dad. I love you to bits. But I'm like, I don't want to be like that. He was out of breath walking from his bedroom to my kitchen.
Well, so you're also a professional athlete.
Because I've put some miles on the clock, as I say. So I'm like, right, I'm done drinking. And if I'm done fighting as well, my next career, which I'm, you know, it sounds very la-di-da or very a bit obnoxious, I guess. You know, I'm trying to have an acting career. And I don't want to make the same mistakes that I made in my fighting career with my acting career. My fighting career, you know, I think, you know, even George St. Pierre said, you know, but yeah, you know, I used to drink a bit in between fights and I used to let myself put weight on and stuff like that. But that was okay because I knew I could fight. And I knew that if I just got in shape and lost some weight and made weight and got in shape, I could win the fight. Simple as that, because that's what I do. That's who I am. But you can't do that in the acting world. You got to look good. You got to be professional. You know, you got to have your shit together. You got to be disciplined. So I don't want to make the same mistakes that I made in my fight career with hopefully a second career that I've got a chance at. You know what I'm saying? I would be an absolute fucking fool to do that twice.
Yeah, you should start smoking weed, dude. It's a different
the guy
time.
That smokes weed, copious amounts of weed, and now you're down in whiskey. You stop drinking altogether. You go to Jamaica, man, and you come back and you're a fucking alcoholic. What's going on?
Don't worry, do about a thing.
I just can't deal with the hangovers. The hangovers are fucking terrible, man. They're so bad. When it comes to a point where you're spending 3 days a week, and there's only 7 days in a week, 3 of those days you're hungover, that's not good. I'm not productive. You got to change shit, man.
This is what
and
Rogan
this is
said.
me lecturing you, Lewis. Get a grip.
All right.
Be ashamed of yourself. And anyway, the point of it is that my production levels, entertainment levels, education levels are going to go up, and you've got to match me, Lewis. We can't have you on the other side going down, down, down.
By the way, that tattoo on your arm looks like a fucking doily.
What the
It looks
fuck's
like
a doily?
it looks like it should be on my grandma's dinner table, and I should be eating on top of it.
Do not disrespect my children. That is my goddamn children's name on there, Lewis. Do not disrespect the fucking kids.
Here's
all
the
right?
quote. Ready? This is what Rogan said about Covington. He says, because Covington talks a lot of shit about Rogan. Was Covington, they were roommates in the past? Is that what it was? Who
Jones
was
Covington were roommates back in the day. That is correct. I believe at college, yes, they shared a room.
Okay, so Jon Jones is going to be in front. This is what Rogan says on his podcast. Jon Jones is going to be in front of you one day. You got to be careful. Watch your fucking words. You're going to get slapped in the face by a guy who can kill you with his bare hands. That's a bad move. And then Covington responded on BJ Penn Radio. I think Joe Rogan should worry about what he's saying about me because we might just meet face to face soon in the near future. He might be commentating the Chicago card, so that's kind of hypocritical of him to say something like that. Because when he's talking about me, we might be face to face, and I might just have to slap him.
So that is like, I really think Colby Covington might be quite dumb. Does he realize that what he's saying is what Joe Rogan's talking about him? He's saying, "Oh, Joe Rogan better not talk shit about me because when I see him, I'm going to slap him." Well, that's what Joe Rogan's saying to you. He's saying, "Don't talk shit about Jon Jones because when he sees you, he's going to slap you. You fucking moron."
Yeah.
Listen to the words coming out of his mouth. And Joe Rogan's right. Jon Jones is a bad motherfucker, man. That's why, given all of his discretions, his fringes with the law, his ups and downs, that's why people still like to watch this guy fight because he's a bad motherfucker, and he is, And if Colby Covington, he might just get a slap. Who knows? I mean, Jon Jones is reckless, man. Jon Jones does a lot of things that maybe he later regrets. So maybe Joe Rogan is giving him some sage advice.
Yeah, and I think Colby as well. I think Colby likes to just fucking yap and likes to make those moments. I don't think that Colby Covington really would want to slap Joe Rogan. I think the reality is Colby I don't know. He's probably not. The reality is he seems kind of like a dummy. But maybe he's smarter than everyone thinks he is. And that
just stop. Can we just say, Lewis, you fucking love Colby Covington.
No.
Every time we got to talk about this, every time you got to go on, you got to tell everybody that, okay, he's doing a great job of this, that, and the other. And now you're putting an argument out there for that. It's all a show, and he's actually a genius, and we've got him talking. No, he's not a genius. He's a moron. Please, come on.
He's stupid like a fox, maybe. Maybe he's pulling a fucking Kanye right now, and he's going like, oh, shit, this guy's crazy. He's dumb. But then everybody on every radio show is talking about him. He's talking himself into title fights. He's having, literally every show is talking about this. It's kind of brilliant in its own way, and if he's not, let's say it's not deliberate, well, then his stupidity is, getting him pretty fucking far. So to be honest with you, I'd rather be stupid like Colby Covington than smart like Mike Harrington.
Well, smart like Mike Harrington, yeah, I agree. I'd rather be dumb like Colby. Why do we always shit on Harrington? Harrington's a good guy. Listen, Kanye West and Colby Covington should not be in the same fucking conversation, in the same sentence, okay? Yeah. Kanye West, listen, I don't know much about Kanye West. I mean, the shit he's been saying recently, but he's out of his mind. But, the guy's a genius in some ways. Colby Covington is not a genius in any way, okay? Colby Covington gets a boomerang thrown at his head and goes running to the police. Yeah. So I hope Joe... And you know what? If Colby Covington slaps Joe Rogan, maybe Joe Rogan gives him a slap back. Who knows? Yeah, that's the other thing. I'm not impressed with Colby Covington. Colby Covington's fighting Rafael dos Anjos, and he's going to lose that fight pretty badly. Dos Sanchez is going to beat the crap out of him, then go on and face Tyron Woodley. And maybe we never hear from Covington ever again.
I think what's going to happen is Colby Covington is going to come in. He's going to kick Rafael dos Anjos' head off his shoulders. He's going to smack a porn star on the ass, make out with her in the center of the octagon, smack Joe Rogan on the ass, fucking take his microphone away from him, and then fucking run out of the ring and fucking party with Brazilians. That's what's going to happen. Colby Covington is the best.
That would be awesome.
Don't disrespect Colby Covington, Michael Bisping.
Lay off the whiskey, Luis J. Gomez.
Everyone here in this room appreciates Colby Covington. Shannon likes him. She's sexually attracted to him. Shannon Cam.
Okay, get Shannon Cam on because people like the Shannon Cam.
Shannon, did you see that thing with the porn stars? He said he had a foursome with those porn stars, and then the one came out and denied it.
Oh, really? She came out and denied it? Okay, that's hilarious.
Yeah, porn star Kelsey Monroe, I guess she came out and she was like, yeah, this guy's popping all this shit. He was talking about just like, was fucking the porn stars and just doing whatever he wanted to do with them. And she was like, yeah, if you fucked me, you'd have to take me to dinner, motherfucker.
That's it. Just dinner, though.
Yeah.
Just dinner. You don't have to date me. You don't have to go out with me for any length of time.
She is pretty hot.
Just take me to Sizzler.
Really quick, let's talk about BetDSI, who has been so great to us. BetDSI, they've been with us for a really long time. If you guys love sports, if you love to watch sports already as it is, throw a little bit of cash down. It will change your entire experience of watching sports. Trust me.
Absolutely, 100%. Listen, if you're watching a sport, if you're watching anything, if you're doing anything in this life and you have money on it, you have a financial, what's the financial something in the race?
Investment,
what is that expression?
Yeah, chips on the table. If you have
whatever.
a horse in the race.
If you've got skin in the game financially, you're more interested. And when it's a fight, it's even better. So what do? You go to betdsi.com and just for registering, they give you $25. If you listen to this podcast, you know the deal. They give you $25 just for registering, which you can then put on a bet for free this weekend. Amanda Nunes taking on Raquel Pennington. Nunes is the big favorite, but still, that's a safe bet. And if you put money on by using the promo code ME25, they will triple your money, give you a 200% bonus match. So if you put $10 on, that becomes $30. So you get $25 just for registering. BetDSI.com, promo code ME25. Register, you get $25 for free. And then if you put some money on, they triple it. So there you go. I mean, what more do you want?
Pennington is listed as a $450 underdog. I got to be honest with you. If you're going to put just a free $25 down, throw it on Pennington. Why not? It's free money.
Well, no, you're right, because that $25, you will get a decent return.
Like $100 on that.
4-1, you'll get $100 on that. And let's be honest, she is in the title fight for a reason. She's a massive underdog. I picked Nunes to win, but she is capable of winning the fight. Of course she is, She's
not going to.
We're only human at the end of the day. But back to betdsi.com, go to the website, register, promo code ME25, get your $25, and then put some money down, have a good time. God bless.
All right, let's get back into it. Let me ask you a question. This is a little side note, ADD question, but I think this is kind of interesting. Let's say you weren't married. Everything's, different world, different trajectory of your life. Could you date a porn star?
Yeah, let's not get into that right now. But actually, the answer is no. The answer is definitely no. But, I'd rather not disrespect my wife that's literally just over there cooking meatballs as we speak. So, no, Lewis, I wouldn't hang out with porn stars if my wife wasn't around.
Well, I'm saying, are you too jealous of a guy to be able to get with a chick that does that for a living?
No, it's nothing to do with that at all. It's just that she's a fucking porn star. You know what I mean? And no disrespect to them. They provide a quality service to people, but it's not something that, I look for in a woman. Yeah. Having sex on camera and squirting all over the place isn't what I look for.
Well, that's a specific category, so, relax. It's not like all of them do that.
Nice little segue there, Lewis. But let's get it back on track. So, anyway, this weekend, is it 224?
Yeah.
UFC 224. At what point do you think they're going to stop numbering them? Imagine in 3 years, UFC 497. At some point, it's going to lose. I'm just going to call it UFC pay-per-view.
I'm just happy they stopped giving them names like UFC.
Yeah.
Bitter attitude.
Validation. Yeah, the names. Well, yeah, again, at the start, that was good. But with the same thing as the numbers, it came to a point where, listen, we're running out of adjectives. We're running out of title suggestions. So they did away with that. And at some point in the future, they're going to have to get rid of them. Around the same times that we have flying cars, Lewis, which I saw in the news. Did you see this? Uber have announced that we're going to have flying cars within 3 years.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's insane. It was on the news earlier. Flying taxis. Uber will be able to fly everywhere. They can't pick you up from your house, but there'll be designated spots where a car will take you to, and then you fly off. And it'll cost you the same as an Uber Black in about 3 years. It's fucking insane. Back to the Future is happening.
This aircraft will be electrically powered. It's not a flying car. It's an airplane. It's a miniature airplane.
Call it what you will. It's a fucking Uber that flies you around. A helicopter. It's a flying car. Okay?
1,000 to 2,000 feet.
Don't kill it for me. That's a flying car. All right, maybe it's not a flying car. It does resemble a DeLorean from Back to the Future, though. Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Well, it's
that
almost
was the best thing ever.
It looks like a giant drone. They look at, let's see, the aircraft will be electrically powered. It will fly at an elevation of 1,000 to 2,000 feet, and they envision thousands of its flying taxis shuttling passengers between rooftop skyports and landing sites in cities, each of which will be equipped to handle 200 takeoffs and landings every hour. Wow. Dude, the future is here, and God bless companies like Uber. I love it. I love it. I love the fact that we're in a position right now where, people are able to, come up with pretty incredible things based off of the fact that it's all based off of motivation. It's all based off the fact that people want to just do something and envision something different. I fucking love it, dude. Good for Uber. That's awesome.
Oh, no, fantastic for Uber. I mean, innovation. I mean, it's just incredible. It really is. I mean, can you imagine a world where you get in, a flying car, whatever you want to call it, flying Uber, no traffic? Can you imagine that? Or do you think eventually they'll make everybody, like, if you're going to fly over certain parts of airspace, which would then create traffic? I guess because you can't, if it became really popular, you couldn't just have Ubers or different lifts or whatever just flying all over the place, because you'd have accidents all the time. So I guess you'd then end up with air traffic.
Well, they would come up with some sort of different, jurisdiction.
As well.
So exactly. So right now it's very early, but these companies are really disrupting these things. Like, they don't really know. They're going to come up with. I'm sure the government's going to come up with some sort of thing that says it's illegal and they can't do it, and then they got to fight it and push it and push it. But once you see it on the horizon, it's going to happen. They tried to do the same thing in New York City with Uber and Lyft. For a couple of years, they couldn't get in New York City because the Taxi and Limousine Commission was fighting it. But luckily, technology moves faster than the government can come up with these laws. So these companies are just super fucking innovative, and they say, cool, well, we're going to just change this a little bit so now it doesn't fall under your stupid law, and they can't keep up. So I was in LA a few weeks ago. This was a really interesting thing. I'm trying to remember the name of the company. Shannon, if you could look this up, they're portable scooters. Maybe you've even seen them at this point. But all you do is you walk up to them, you download the app, you swipe the app on the scooter, and you fucking go. And they're all over. They were all over Sunset Boulevard. They were all over. And me and my chick were just, and it was so dangerous. There was no helmet. There was no nothing. And people were just grabbing these scooters and picking up and going. It was out of fucking control. And I was like, this is going to be the future. Now they're going to come up with a law because there's going to be a bunch of people that get hit by trucks that you can't do it.
We're talking about flying cars. And you've likened it to fucking renting a scooter.
Yeah.
Renting a scooter on the beach for 5 minutes.
No, it was pretty fucking cool. I wish I had. It was called Lime something. Look it up.
No,
Lime scooter
I'm joking,
rental.
Of course. They've got a similar thing in Australia. I was just in Sydney recently. I mean, in cities all over the world, you can rent a bike and then you just park it up wherever you want it. But in Sydney, they just had these bikes all over the place. But they weren't chained up. They weren't locked up. They just abandoned the bikes all over the place. All right, here we go. Lime
so
bike.
So this is the same exact thing. Lime bike e-scooters. They flood the streets in San Francisco. They did this in L.A. And me and my chick rented them, and they went very fast. They were electric scooters, and we spent like $4, and we had them for like a half an hour. It was like every 15 minutes, I think, was $1 or $2. And in New York City, they have city bikes where you can just rent a city bike, but you have to park it in a specific station.
Yeah.
These you can leave anywhere. You just leave it. They have the GPS technology, so if somebody steals it, they could find it, they could shut it down and lock it down. But what happened was in New York, they made a deal with Citibank, and they had that sponsorship, so it was like a 10-year deal. Even though they have the technology to do this, now you have to have these big, ugly stations in New York.
Yeah, I mean, that's very cool. I do like that, but I'm just wondering if everyone was going around on electric scooters, it's only a matter of time before someone kills themselves, and they get into an accident. I mean, you got to stay on the sidewalk, on the path, because then you're going to run someone over. And if you go on the roads, then someone's going to get hit by a car. So, there's lots of legal loopholes there and potential lawsuits and things like that. So I'm all about the flying cars, Lewis. Let's just stay with that one. So, but anyway, I don't know how we got onto that. UFC 224, we're going to break that down. Uber, fair play. I'll be the first one in a flying car. Can't wait for that. UFC 224, Amanda Nunes, Raquel Pennington. Let's bring up the card. Co-main event. What's the co-main? Oh, Kelvin Gastelum taking on Jacare. Or as Karen Bryant, who's very, very fun to work with, Jacare. And the announcers, they say Jacare. And I say Jacare. What do you say, Lewis?
I say Jacare.
Jacare, yeah.
Jacare.
Jacare. Jacare?
I call him
Jacare.
Ronaldo.
Jacare. Yeah, fuckface. Ronaldo. Ugly bastard. Yeah, let's go with that. Him and Gastelum, co-main event. You know, Gastelum came into UFC Tonight last week. We had a bit of fun. We did the... I don't know if you've seen UFC Tonight recently. Have you?
Yeah, I just watched the clips online.
Yeah, they have, you know, like at fairgrounds, whatever, they have the punching machine that measures how hard you punch. I'm watching you, Lewis. I can see you swaying all over the place. It's great. It's awesome.
I'm killing it.
Yeah, good for you. And Gastelum, it doesn't hit as hard as me, even on a punching bag machine, okay? So, again, you know, GSP, torn ribs, Gastelum, he got lucky, whatever. He's taking on Jacare. How do you see that fight going down with Jacare and Kelvin Gastelum? Give me the Puerto Rican breakdown.
Here's the deal. Kelvin Gastelum, you know, just an absolute monster. Anything he hits, he destroys. He's an unbeatable machine, and I couldn't pick against him.
Nature that cannot be reckoned with.
The future. I say the future of the division. Oh, there's your son.
Hey, Lou. Let's get out.
His son just came in and started dancing on the...
All right, buddy. Hey, look. That's it. Yeah. Go full screen, Shannon. Go full screen. We got a show. You got to stand up. You got to do it over here, Lucas. Over here. There you go.
Your family just doesn't care.
Okay, yeah. If you didn't know it, so what happened was Lucas was starved of oxygen as a child, and he's a little special. I'm joking, of course. Lucas, sorry to break it to you, but you got to get out.
No, ask him what he... No, come back.
Oh, no. Question for you, Lucas. Come here. Listen. What's the question?
Lucas, who do you think's going to win? Is going to be Jacare Souza or Kelvin Gastelum? Who's going to win the fight this weekend?
The last person that I fought, Kelvin Gastelum, he's got a big fight. Is he going to win or is he going to lose? And he beat me. Yeah. Yeah, this is great podcasting, guys.
Yeah.
All right, Lucas, leave us to it, buddy. Adios, amigo. We're almost done, bud. Out you go, babe. Shut that door.
He's hanging himself with the fucking cord. I literally just watched your 7-year-old son wrap a cord around his neck, and you just said, all right, go, leave.
His wife is... his mother, pardon me, is right there. So, you know. We have 3 children that have successfully made it to 17, 15, and 7. You know, I think he can manage the headphones. Jacare, I don't know about this fight. Here's the weird thing. When somebody beats you, of course, then you think, oh, this guy's amazing. But maybe he's not amazing, you know. I mean, he definitely got me, you know, at the right time. Obviously, Weidman beat him. He did connect with a good shot on Weidman at the end of the first round and dropped him. Second round, though, he got taken down and submitted. So, if Weidman can take him down and submit him, well, maybe Jacare can't take him down, but Jacare could definitely submit him if he got to the floor. But he's not going to have... Jacare doesn't have the wrestling that Chris Weidman does. On the feet, definitely got to favor Gastelum. Now, Gastelum does have a wrestling background as well. So, with that, and with Gastelum being smaller, having a low center of gravity, and just generally, you know, kind of a stocky individual, he's going to be very, very hard to take down. Smaller guy... low center of gravity, wrestling background, stocky. That's a hard person to take down. So I don't think Jacare gets him down. If he does, I think Kelvin's in trouble. Kelvin is definitely in trouble if the fight hits the floor. But I don't think it will, and I think it stays on the feet. Now, we saw Robert Whittaker knock out Jacare. So, you know, he can be knocked out. He can be finished. I'm going to lean towards Gastelum, but obviously my judgment is a little skewed because of, you know, he beat me recently. That was his last outing, so I'm pretty high on him. I think he beats Jacare. I think he knocks him out. And then I think he fights Tyron Woodley after Dos Anjos Woodley fight. Or he fights Dos Anjos, whoever wins that fight. That's my prediction.
Nice. All right, I agree.
Oh, great. Excellent feedback there, Lewis.
Well, I've said this before, but am I going to sit here and try to fucking break down a fight after you? You can't, you know, I can't ever follow your breakdown with my stupid shit.
Yeah, Agreed. All right, moving on. Agreed. I'm totally with you, Lewis. You're absolutely right. I'm sold on that argument.
It's fucking ridiculous.
You're right. The greatness that comes out of my mouth cannot be followed with the shit that comes out of Luis J. Gomez's. I'm with it. Buddy.
I'm not a fucking analyst, man. I'm saying my job is to come in, set you up, make you look good when you start talking about the fuck. I check out half the time. You start yapping. I'm like, I just shake my head and say yes.
I'm doing a trial audition at the weekend, commentating that fight. So that could be interesting. Yeah, I am. Yeah. Also on that fight.
Wait a minute, you're commentating for this fight card this weekend?
Yeah, but only an audition. So I'm not commentating live. I'll be doing it at a studio in LA. So
I have a question. This is really important. And I think you can, if you fucking had
any... It's going to be a stupid question. It's going to be a stupid question, but go ahead.
It's a guaranteed great question. The fans will all agree with me.
Question. I swear to fucking God. Hey, would you date a porn star? Go ahead.
I will bet you the fans all agree with me on this one. There's a line drawn in the sand. I bet you everyone will agree that this is a great question.
This is a good question. Go ahead.
Motherfucker, do you remember when you were drunk and we deleted the whole episode?
Yes. No, because actually I'm very impressed, though, Lewis, because when I was drunk, I could hardly speak. I was talking shit. I was being very, very... I just came across like a bloody lunatic. I came across like a very unintelligent person. Now, I guess I do that a lot of the time anyway. But you're holding it together. I'd appreciate it if you stopped sipping quite as hard and just slowed it down.
I appreciate if you suck my dick.
You're still talking well. You still sound good. You're still making some good points. What was the question?
I forget.
I knew you were going to say that. Are you serious?
No, wait, hold on. I got it. Yes. Can you ask the people at the UFC if you can get even just a minute or two of the audition tape so we can listen to it on the show next week?
Probably not. No.
You can't probably ask even? You can't probably get it or you won't even ask?
I'm just not going to ask.
Why?
Hey, guys, by the way, I really love a piece of this audition.
You don't have to ask it like you want to suck their dick.
Like that.
Hey.
You know this audition that I'm doing that I'm actually begrudge having to fucking do in the first place? It means so much to me that I'd like a copy of it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we could just... look, the fans... Fine. I knew you were going to say no.
Anyway, that was a side note. Don't want to get into it too much. Opening the pay-per-view... Vitor Belfort, Lyoto Machida, Lewis, who do you think wins that fight?
I think Lyoto.
I can't wait for this breakdown.
No, well, look. I can talk about. I can talk about the fight before you. I'm not going to talk about it after you because I feel like I sound stupid. Okay. Lyoto Machida wins this fight all day long. It's not the same Vitor. We haven't seen it since Vitor stopped being able to use human growth hormone, whatever the fuck he was using, TRT, steroids, fucking injecting himself with whatever. It has not looked like the same Vitor Belfort. And I think Machida, whereas I know that he did he get actually officially suspended for something, or did he have that overturned?
No, he got suspended. I forget the name of the steroid that was found in his system, but he used the old. I'm just messing with this camera. Sorry, pardon me. I'm messing up here. How's that? Is that good? Fucking hell, I'm all over the place.
A little more to your
What
left.
is going on?
Good.
There we go. Anyway,
18 months suspension, USADA.
Yeah, he said the old tainted supplement thing. I think he got 6 months or maybe a year.
No, he got 18 months.
18 months.
Yeah. So he was facing a 2-year suspension, was bumped down to 18 months by USADA because Machida was forthright in his admission and cooperated with the investigation.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Look, you look at I don't mean to fucking I don't know shit about this, right? But you look at Vitor Belfort and the way he came back and he was like muscle bound freak, dude, muscle on top of muscle. And then you look at Machida. Machida was never really that guy. And I think that I don't know what it is, but if I just from a layman's standpoint, I look at both of them and I go, I think Vitor was leaning on that more. It just seems like Vitor was even looking at those two. He looked like a monster. And then for some reason, whether it was psychologically, physically, or whatever it is, he sort of fell off. And it just doesn't seem like Machida. I don't know. It didn't seem like there was that same type of dramatic thing.
No, absolutely. I mean, the before and after of Vitor Belfort is incredible. In fact, bring that up. Just put before and after steroids into Google and bring up that image whilst I talk, because it's you can find it on the internet pretty quickly and it's ridiculous. But Machida, of course, listen, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be super disrespectful all the time. A lot of the time when I'm saying things on here, we're just trying to be entertaining. We're having a laugh. We're trying to be funny. That's my personality, okay? That's how I get a kick. You know, it's just the way I am. I'm a ball buster. But I don't want to be super negative all the time. Now, I do respect Machida. He did have that suspension, as we talked about. Belfort, I can't respect that guy because he's done that his entire career. And he's beaten people and taken money out of their pocket. He's taking careers away from them. He's done so many things like that, from cheating so much. I mean, look at that. 2012 to 2017. That's the one I fought on the left. I fought that guy. It was January 2013 when I fought him, immediately after he fought Jon Jones. So, yeah, I mean, look at that. I mean,
by the way, the guy on the right, compared to any normal dude, still is pretty insanely in shape. But just compared to old Vitor, he looks like just terrible.
Yeah, no, he looks absolutely awful, you know, and much like Vitor did when he was in his prime, he still starts off the first round pretty good. You know, he can still throw his hands pretty successfusly, but he runs out of steam quickly, tends to get knocked out a lot these days. You've got to favour Machida in that fight simply because of, I mean, as you can see the deterioration to Vitor's body. Call it whatever you will, but he just wasn't the same person. He's not on special sauce. He's not on the steroids. Therefore, he's not as good. Machida, I mean, you said before it was kind of a naive statement, I guess, because when you look at Machida, he was never overly muscled. Obviously a very good athlete, trains hard, in good shape, all that type of stuff, but didn't have that crazy amount of muscle that Vitor Belfort did, or that you conjure up in your imagination when you think about somebody on steroids. That said, steroids don't necessarily do that. You know, steroids, you know, depending on what you take, and I'm not an expert on this, but with the type of training that we do, unless you're taking shit tons of it, I still think it's pretty hard to put on that kind of muscle. And not all steroids do the same thing.
Yeah. It's how you train with it.
Look at Machida's teammate of a long time, Anderson Silva. Who's tested positive, 2 or 3 times now. He's currently suspended right now. There's a guy that wasn't overly muscled, and, you know, he was using steroids. He was caught twice. That's not me assuming. He has been busted by USADA twice for using steroids. But, you know, same kind of body frame, if you will, a little more wiry, long, leaner. So, but anyway.
Well, you look at Lance Armstrong, who's like the, perfect example of a lean guy who is, using steroids to compete. So It depends on what you do. Like, the reality is your body is your body. So if you're lifting heavy weights and you're stacking weight and you're putting more and more weight on, you're going to get big muscles. If you're using steroids and then doing a shit ton of cardio and grappling and doing things for core strength, you're going to get very lean, and you could still use the same steroid. I'm just saying, and it was a very sort of ignorant statement, but sort of I think there's some truth there. If you look at Vitor and you look at Machida, if you had to guess and say, hey, which guy is using steroids, I'm just saying I would go to Vitor every single time.
Oh, each and every time, all day long, simple as that, you know. I mean, it was clearly obvious. Everybody knew, you know. I mean, he went out there, he came back to the UFC after being away for a while and went on a tear. And I was one of those people included. I got caught with a head kick. Rocco got knocked out with a head kick. Rich Franklin got knocked out. Dan Henderson got knocked out. He went on a tear, knocking everybody out. Because when you're juiced to the absolute gills, guess what? It's a little bit easier to fight. It helps you in a fucking fight. It helps you with your aggression. It helps you with your power. It helps you with your confidence. I know people that were on steroids. I used to train with this guy a long time ago. I won't say his name. And he was incredible in the gym. I used to think, wow, this guy's a fucking monster. And he got a UFC contract, and he had to come off the steroids. And he came out, and he got knocked out in the first round. I said to Dan, this guy's going to be a champion one day. You come off the steroids. And the reason I say, not just from him getting knocked out in the UFC, I was training with this guy, and he wasn't the same person. He was a shell of himself. He was absolutely terrible. And I was like, wow, where's the guy gone from the gym? It's because they have a psychological dependence on the medications that they're taking. And then when they don't have that, it affects them psychologically. I forgot where I was going with this. What were we talking about? We're just breaking down Machida Belfort.
Yeah, Vitor Belfort.
So, yeah, you know, listen, in the fight, as I said before, Belfort starts strong with the hands, but Machida's elusive. Machida's going to dance around. He's going to try and make Belfort come to him. He's going to punch himself out after about 90 seconds. And then maybe maybe Machida wins, because you never know. I mean, Machida did just get knocked out against Brunson. Prior to that, he was away for a long time. He got finished by Rockhold. So I don't know, when was the last time Machida won a fight? I'm not sure. I mean, that said, both of these guys are at the end of the careers.
He just won his last fight, didn't he? He won Eric Anders split decision. There was a split against somebody who's,
Oh, yeah, sorry, my bad, pardon me. But I'm still looking forward to seeing this fight, though, because Machida, he was a champion back in the days, a legend of the sport. And Belfort, regardless of how I feel about him personally, he's still one of those old school guys. Yeah. He was still around the UFC for a long time. So I'm still looking forward to seeing that fight.
And that style doesn't disappear as well. Machida still is a super elusive striker, a guy who's really hard to hit, and a guy who gets in and gets out. I think he's going to win a decision. That's what I think is going to happen. I think Machida's going to win a fairly, one-sided decision. I don't think he's going to knock out Vitor, but I think he's going to be able to outstrike him, outpoint him. It's not going to turn into much grappling.
I agree.
Let's talk about the main event really quick. I don't think we have time to do questions because I got to run. Can I say real quick? Real quick.
Go.
We're doing another show this week, right?
Thursday
we're doing another show, and then we're switching to Thursdays starting next week. So we're going to do an extra show this week because we only did an hour today. We know it's late as well. But we're going to give you an extra show this week, this Thursday, and then we're going to be on Thursdays live from now on. We're going to figure out the time. Mondays are a little bit crazy for both of us, so I think Thursdays is going to be a better day.
Okay, I'm just throwing this out there, Lewis. You say Mondays are a little bit crazy for both of us. My life is a little bit crazy, full stop. So even though it appears that sometimes Mondays are a little difficult, sometimes Thursdays are going to be a little difficult. Mondays, for the most part, are probably my best day. If you want to switch it to Thursdays, I'm down with that. But sometimes I'm going to have to change it to a Friday or a Wednesday or whatever. Maybe we do 2 shows a week. I don't know, and just skip one every now and again.
That's okay.
So
we'll figure it out.
There you go. Main event, Amanda Nunes taking on Raquel Pennington. I'll keep it quick. Amanda Nunes smokes her. No offense to Raquel Pennington. I know Dana White's a big fan of hers. She hasn't fought since she beat Miesha Tate. Raquel Pennington, she's tough. She's gritty. She can take a lot of punishment. That's what she's going to have to do in this fight. If Raquel Pennington is going to win this fight, she's going to weather the storm in the early round. She's going to take the onslaught, take the beating that Amanda Nunes will give her, and hope that Nunes gets tired, and then turn it round in rounds 3, 4, 5 and win a decision. I don't see her stopping her. I don't see her submitting her. But she could win like that. If you look at Amanda Nunes, she always starts the fight really, really hard, very viciously, very aggressive, high output. But then she does fade. Look at her fight against Kat Zingano. Prime example. Went out there, put a beating on Kat Zingano. But Kat Zingano weathered the storm, and then it ended up getting the finish in round 2 or 3. I'm not sure which one, but she got the finish. So that has always been Amanda Nunes' problem. Her last fight, though, she went 5 rounds with Shevchenko. Maybe she's figured out her cardio issues. Who knows? Maybe she's learned to pace herself a little bit more. But really, this is Nunes' fight to win, to lose. She could win this fight pretty comfortably. I hate to write anyone off, which I'm not doing. Raquel Pennington could have a shot, but she's going to have to take some damage in those early rounds if she's going to win a decision. But my official prediction, Amanda Nunes, all day, every day, round 1, knockout, TKO. That's what I say. That's what I think. And there you go. We got time for one question, surely, Lewis.
All right, let's do one question. We do have one question.
One question.
I really gotta run after one, though.
I know you do.
Okay, here we go. Let's do it. This is a solid question. This ain't bad. This is not even MMA related, which I kind of dig.
Well, that's what I like. That's why I said let's do one question. Give us a non-MMA related topic, and we'll go from there.
This is from Sanam. He says, hey, guys, Sanam from Houston here. Actually, it's pronounced Sanam. Made sure I knew that. I just wanted to say I love y'all's podcast. You two make a great combo. Y'all have me cracking up in the car in traffic on my way to work. I have a question for both of you. What kind of music do you like, and what are some of your favorite bands/artists?
Okay, all right. Well, I've got DJ equipment behind me there from my DJ days, DJ Mikey B. Talking of which, and talking of my old man, he very kindly, as I say, I flew him out here recently, and to say thank you for it, I have a very large record collection from my DJ days when I started collecting records when I was about 15. And he flew them out here for me. I had no idea. Flew my turntables and all my records. Can't have been cheap. So thanks for that, Dad. Really appreciate it. Obviously, when I DJ'd, I was heavily into dance music, but really I like all genres. You know, I really do. I mean, I started off loving hip-hop when I was a kid. I used to listen to a lot of NWA and Ice-T and all that type of stuff. My mom,
what does NWA stand for?
What's that?
What does NWA stand for?
You're a prick. I started listening to a lot of NWA, and my mum, very, very strict Roman Catholic, very old school woman, you know, from Northern Ireland, and to hear NWA blasting out of my bedroom, swearing like crazy. She thought the devil music is what she used to call it, the devil music. Turn that devil music off in this house. She used to go fucking crazy, and I mean crazy. But yeah, you know, and these days I like everything. Everything. I mean, let's just have a look. I'm looking at what did I buy recently on iTunes. Okay, so we got George Michael, the best of, Johnny Cash. I just bought God's Gonna Cut You Down, Fleetwood Mac Greatest Hits. Then we got Ministry of Sound, Biggie, the Fugees. The list goes on. Very just
eclectic.
The two of us, Bill Withers. You know, I mean, eclectic, bro.
Very eclectic.
Bit of this, bit of that. Depends what mood I'm in. You know.
All right. Well, for me, I grew up as a metalhead. I had a sister who was a couple years older than me.
Oh my God, I know. Harrington, put up this picture of Lewis that he put on recently. You fucking loser.
Shannon, pull up a picture on my Instagram. So yeah, I grew up, my sister was a couple years older than me. My first concert ever was Poison in like 89. I was like 7 years old. So I grew up on like 80s metal, Motley Crue, Poison, Guns N' Roses. That's like my first music that I like truly connected with. And then I got into by the time I was in high school, I was really into like System of a Down. I was really into Nine Inch Nails. Marilyn Manson. No, that's not the one. That's not the one.
Not the gay headshot. Put on the one with the long hair and the wannabe mustache.
With the Megadeth T-shirt. Those are Megadeth.
He knows the one.
I know. Yeah, I was huge into Megadeth, but then I started getting into more like real metal. Like, so I really got into Pantera a lot when I was in high school. There we go. Oh, that's an Ozfest shirt. It's me playing the bass guitar. Yeah, baby.
Let's take a look.
Look at Daddy.
Oh yeah. I mean. So you wanted to be in a band, I'm assuming, Louis?
I was in a band. I was in a band called Salty Black Flower when I was in high school. I played drums.
Can you play the guitar, though, as you're
play a little stuff. I can play a little bit of stuff. I was playing the bass there. Thank you very much. And I could play a little bit of a little bass, a little guitar, but I played the drums okay. I can still play.
That's good. That's cool. That's cool. Very cool. I always wanted to learn a musical instrument, but never put the time and effort in.
But I will say the best concert.
Go on, sorry.
Best concert I've ever been to was last summer. I saw Nine Inch Nails at a festival, and they were fucking incredible, dude. And I've seen all the bands I love: Tool, Nine Inch Nails, System of a Down. I saw Incubus like 12 or 13 times. My girlfriend in high school loved them. Wow. But yeah, I was a big metal guy, and I like hip hop now too. I like Hopsin and Tech Nine and a lot of hip hop too. But I'm a metal lover.
I think I've only been to one or two concerts in my entire life. I didn't go to concerts when I was younger. You know, where I'm from, there was nothing like that around there. And I didn't really like those types of bands anyway. I used to go see DJs and stuff and go to raves and all that type of jazz. But these days, you know, I love Nirvana and Smashing Pumpkins, all that type of stuff, Oasis and, you know, all the rest of it. In fact, this Friday, Liam Gallagher and Richard Ashcroft from a band called The Verve, they're performing in LA, so I might go watch them. But yeah, to the person who asked the question, a little bit of everything. If it's good music, I'm down to listen to it.
Fuck yeah. All right, dude, that's it. That's the show. Thanks for listening.
Goodbye.